Luke chapter 7, verses 11 through 14. I want to read from the NLT version. Soon afterward, Jesus went with his disciples to the village of Nain, and a large crowd followed him. Verse 12. A funeral procession was coming out as he approached the village gate. The young man, I'm going to see if you catch this, who had died. Y'all slow, but you're worth waiting on. The young man who had died was a widow's only son, and a large crowd from the village was with her. When the Lord saw her, I'm trying to be dignified, man. When the Lord saw her, his heart overflowed with compassion. Here's what Jesus says, "Don't cry," he said. Then he walked over to the coffin, touched it, and the bearer stopped. All right, I'm gonna have church by myself right here. The rest of y'all can just watch from a distance. "Young man," he said, I tell you, see, that's how you know you're sitting on the wrong row right there. If you got some stuff you need God to get up, I just need you to touch 3 people and tell them, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. My money's getting up, my peace is getting up, my favor's getting up, my vision's getting up, my creativity's getting up. Forget your neighbor, slap yourself and shout, get up, sit down. I want to teach from the topic today, I feel you. I feel you. I want to say that I don't mind repeating myself. I mean this, you're not going to learn off one sitting, so I can't just teach something one time. So I'm one of those pastors for people who don't know. I will say the same thing over and over. Here's what's crazy, like I ain't never said it before. Have you ever been in church before and you heard me say something bold and you was like, he said that last week, but I said it with the same excitement like it was brand new? I'm one of them people who watch the same movie and still get excited about the same part. And if somebody in the room with me, I tell them, here it come, 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 here. Because repetition, please put this in your notes and let's see who can finish this sentence for me. Repetition breeds. See, there you go. You've been with me for a while. Repetition breeds revelation. Repetition breeds revelation. What does that mean, baby girl? The more you see something or the more you read something, the more you see in it. Yeah, let's go. Who is that? Where you at? Oh, you finna help me preach today, brother. Yeah. Get me fired up today. Repetition breeds revelation. The more you see it, the more you hear it, the more you see it. Did you catch that? Mary had a little lamb. What's the first thing that jumps out to you? She had a lamb. The second time you read it, she had a what type of lamb? Little lamb. Third time you read it, whose lamb was it? Mary's. The fourth time you see it, what do you see? Had. She didn't say Mary has. Has is indicative of the fact that she still got it. It said Mary had. So after the fourth time reading it, you get a deeper revelation that you can be in one season where you got something and lose it. That's why you only got 2 cousins and 1 friend left, because they ain't got the proper revelation of who you are. They become so familiar with you that they can't realize you're not changing for the worse. You're actually changing for the better, but because they don't come around enough, they don't get the proper revelation of not just who you were, but who you are, but also who you are. So I will say this again and again. Here it is, my vision for 2025 for every person connected to me is what? Thrive. You're going to hear me say that 1,000 times. I want to say it so many times that in your sleep, I want you to wake up saying thrive. I want you walking around the city now seeing thrive in places you never even saw it. I don't even know about you. I be around the city now, around the world. I swear everybody say we are now. I went to Miles College. They said, we are Miles College. I said, nope, y'all Rock City. But I do this because I'm trying, here's a $2 word for you. I'm trying to inculcate you with so much knowledge. I'm trying to brand this vision on your heart so it won't leave you when life get thick. Because to thrive, the dictionary definition is to prosper, be fortunate, Successful, also to grow, develop vigorously. What's my word? To flourish. Thrive for 2025 at Rock City. You should be able to say this by now. That definition means to remain focused, faithful, and fruitful. Come on now. In spite of. That's my heart's desire for each and every one of you. I want you to thrive. I want you to thrive, not just thrive. Here's something else you can put in your notes. If it's not on paper, it's not real. Don't tell me what you believe in God for, but it ain't written nowhere. If it's not on paper, write the vision. Make it plain. I am writing this vision. I want to thrive. For the first time in my life, I'm saying certain things out my mouth because I want my ears and heaven to hear me say it. I want to thrive physically. Physically, I've never really said that out loud. I want to be in the best possible shape I can be in. I want to be healthy. You don't know what it goes for me, what it takes for me sometimes just to stand and preach. I deal with certain type of arthritis issues, so my legs will lock up, my body will lock up. Getting out the bed will be painful. Each step will hurt sometimes. I have to go to the doctor. They put a steroid needle in my leg, in my knee. I have to do all this different stuff. Now I'm saying, God, I want to thrive physically. I'm finna pray this prayer and only 3 people with big backs gonna receive this. If you giving out slim stomachs, don't pass me by, Jesus. If you passing out 2 packs, here I am, Lord. I don't even need the 6. Give me 1 and a possible. I'll be grateful. No, but I just want to thrive physically. I went to a checkup. My doctor said, man, if you ain't careful, your body's 60. He said, you've been running at a pace that's so crazy. So now I'm saying it's on my paper now. I want to thrive. I told Mason yesterday, run in the kitchen, grab dad something to drink. He had the audacity to come back with water. Mason ripped up. He cut up real nice. I said, what? I said, I want something to drink. He said, no, Dad, you said you're just going to thrive. Somebody got to hold you accountable. I said, accountable my behind. You better go get that Coke Zero. It's a 0. No, but I want it. I'm going to say this and I pray you can receive this. I ain't never wanted it as bad as I want it right now. And what I'm trying to get you to get to a point of the way you make up in your mind, I will not leave 2025 with regrets. Who am I talking to in the room and online? No, somebody say thrive. So as you understand, I'm preaching on the theme thrive. That means every time you hear me minister, I want you to look at that scripture through the lens of how that person overcame to thrive and how you can make it applicable to your life. Is that critical? So when we tiptoe into the corridors of today's text, we find ourselves situated and acculturated in this pregnant Lucan passage. It is in Luke that we bump into Jesus doing his thing. But we cannot rush to Luke chapter 7, verse 11, till we tiptoe back to the corridors of Luke chapter 7, verses 1 through 10. Because it is in verses 1 through 10, we see Jesus walking and we meet a centurion guard that can preach. A centurion guard, I'm gonna paraphrase it. In verses 1 through 10, a centurion guard slave is sick. He tells his friends, do me a favor, run out there and get Jesus. Tell Jesus I need him to come to my house because my servant is sick. You missed your first shout of November right there. Tell my friends, he tells his friends, I need you to go out there. Tell Jesus my servant is sick. You missed your first shout in November right there. I'm going to try to give it to you again. He tells his friends to run out there to Jesus and tell Jesus, I don't need nothing. I'm not in need. But I care about this person so much that I don't need him to do nothing for me. See, haters can't shout over this. Lord, do it for them. See, if I don't have nothing else in my life this year, God, just give me one person that without my permission and without capping and putting it on the net will say, Lord, in November, bless them. That's why you got to be careful who you sit next to sometime. You may be sitting next to an undercover hater. Just look at him and tell him, be grateful you sit next to me. Tell her, because my next shout ain't for my house. It ain't for my car. It ain't for my nieces. It ain't for my nephews. It ain't for my kids. For the next 30 seconds, I'm not thinking about me. I just need you to find somebody on your row and say, Lord, do it for them. They didn't shout with you, so tell them, sit your ugly self there then. Find somebody else on your row and say, Lord, do it for them. Now, if you would sit next to the right person, you wouldn't have had to pray for your stuff, because while you was praying for them, they would have been praying for you. So I need you to look down your row and find somebody with your level of faith and shout, I'm finna ask God for your breakthrough. You ask God for my breakthrough. Now touch 3 people and shout, do it for them. Yeah. Do it for them. Do it for them. Bless their family. Shift their finances. Heal their children. Cover their mind. Grant them peace. See, I don't need a whole lot of people in my life. Give me one person who will read the whole row and tell the row, ain't none of y'all got to shout for the rest of the Sunday. You ought to start at the bottom. Flip their finances, flip their joy, flip their peace, flip their happiness. Shall I proceed? Yes, indeed. Bless their grandmama, bless their children. Do it for them, because I know if you do it for them, you will do it for me. I wish I had 1,000 folk who would just type, do it, Lord, do it, do it, do it. Hear me? I don't know who I'm preaching to. He says, do me a favor. His slave is sick. This is how you know he's different. He tells his people, run get Jesus. Tell Jesus to come to my house because he's sick. I need him to heal him. They leave. You miss your second shout of November, because some of us can't get a breakthrough because we got people in our life who won't do what we ask them to do. Nowhere in the scripture do they friends say, why? Nowhere in the scripture does one of them say, now when I was sick, you ain't go get Jesus. I don't have time for an immature circle, because an immature circle ain't nothing but squares. Michael, I need some people who can say, you know what, if this is what you need from me, you can count on, because everybody you count, you can't count on. Hear me? He says, look, Centurion says, hey, I need you to go get Jesus. Tell Jesus, come to my house, heal my slave. They leave. Then he thinks about it. He gets his next crew and says, do me a favor, go catch them. Tell them to tell Jesus, don't come to my house. He says, I'm a man of authority. And because I am a man of authority, I tell this one to go and he goes. I tell this one to stay and he stays. So I know if my people listen to my word, he ain't got to come to my house. I'm finna be old school Baptist. Balcony, I'll come get y'all in a minute. Overflow, I'll get y'all in a minute. This is a 50 and above Baptist praise right here. All y'all young people don't get this. He says he ain't got to come to my house. But if he's sitting the word, Michael, if he sends the word, I know my servant can be made whole. This is cold. This is cold. This is cold. Corey, can you come here for a second? I'm sorry. Yeah, can you bring your phone with you? Can you bring your phone with you? Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. And can you bring Grizz with you? If you don't mind, bring Grizz. That's all I needed. God bless you. Corey don't know what I want. I'm good. He don't know what I want. He just know he got a word. And because he submitted, he started moving because he had to be obedient to the word. The servant is at home sick. All Jesus had to do from where he was is say, be healed. And healing would have had to get up. And you sitting in here like God can't speak a word that'll flip your situation. I came to tell 1,000 folk in here and 20,000 online, all you need is one word. I just need you to lay hands on your own head and shout, all I need is one word. One word will change my family. One word will change my heart. One word will... One word. One word. One word. One word. One word. One word. One uni. Word verse. One word. One uni. Word verse. God says, I can speak One word. Universe. The moment he spoke universe into existence, the sun never stopped shining. The moon never stopped rising. Water never stopped being wet. Birds never stop flying. That's why you missed your shout. Because if he speaks healing, healing don't stop. Meaning if sickness come back, healing still go. Sit down. He says, I need you to do this for me. And Jesus tells him, never in my life have I seen, coach, such great faith. Ooh. What do you want, Riverside? What do you want in your life? I want to be in a place in my life where God can say about me, I ain't never seen that level of faith. I'm going to preach to y'all. They may be asleep over there. I want to be in a place in my life where God is in heaven. Like, if you want to see what faith look like, that one over there. And some of your faith is in a bad place. But hear me. So watch this. He heals this brother. So now you understand verses 1 through 10, he heals a brother, but never meets him. So when we tiptoe to verse 7-11, you would think he's tired, but maybe that's why they put the miracle on 7-11, because he's always open. I thought that was good. That I've been waiting on that all day. Forget y'all. That's a bar. That's really a bar. Like in my head, that was gonna kill, okay? So when we get to verse 11, put verse 11 on the screen, because every word matters. Soon afterwards. See, you can't just run up on verse 11 and don't know what just happened. Soon afterwards, Jesus just healed somebody. Before he can catch his breath, soon afterwards, Jesus went with the disciples to a village of Nain. Put that in your notes. Nain. N-A-I-N. Nain. N-A-I-N. Nain translates to mean beautiful. Do me a favor, if you don't mind, for your pastor. Whenever you read the Bible, never read the Bible from a place where you don't investigate names. Names aren't random biblically. They're either prophetic or testimonial. You missed what I just said. They called them based off of what they felt God was going to do, or they named it based off of what God has done. Y'all missed what I just said right there. Names ain't random. No. So this city is called Nain. Nain translates to mean beautiful. It's only one problem. We got an ugly situation. Because the scripture says in verse 11, he's walking with a crowd that's following him. But in verse 12, look at what it says. It says a funeral procession was coming out as he approached the village gate. The young man who had died was a widow's only son. I need you to catch this. Please put this in your notes. What leaps out of the text is critical. Look what he says. Verse 11, verse 11, it's a crowd following Jesus. Verse 12, it's a funeral procession. You don't see it yet. Jesus is coming into the city with a crowd. The funeral is leaving the city. What do I see in the text? A cosmic collision. Yeah, it's finna get ugly. I see a cosmic collision. You got one crowd crying over what they lost. I need a better church. But then you got another crowd shouting over what God just did. That's why you got to be careful, because even when you come to church, it's two types of crowds. It's one crowd crying over what just popped off this week, but it's another crowd shouting over what popped off this week. No, you got one crowd full of mourners, you got one crowd full of praisers. And if you're not careful, what you gonna be when the crowds clash? That's critical. That's critical right there. They crying. Can't you see the funeral? The funeral, they got the casket and they walking, and mama in the front. She boo-hooing. She done lost her mind. Her baby dead. Her little boy, her son is dead. Here it is. She's a widow. She's dead. Oh my God. People hollering and screaming. But over here, the conversation different. You missed it. Over here, there is no conversation, just mourning. Over here, the conversation different. Hey, what you doing here? I'm just following. Every time I follow this man, something pop off. He healed a girl over there. Do you remember old buddy whose daughter was sick? Raised her up from the dead. Then we just left another city. You ain't gonna believe this. We standing outside. These folks run up on Jesus. We thought we was finna get killed. They said the centurion slave is sick. Jesus heals this dude from the street. He don't even go to the dude house. I'm telling y'all, I'm just gonna stay close. I'm here because even when you popping, you got to be careful who show up. Michael, my girl, when you popping, you got to be careful who show up, because certain people show up out of love. Certain people show up for the loaves. Did you catch what I just said? Certain people show up because they love you. Certain people show up because they don't even know you. They just heard what you do and they just trying to come up off you. Michael, that's why you got to be careful. I be meeting people. They be like, what you do? Man, I'm just a preacher. What your church look like? Man, just got me a little small church over there in Birmingham, Alabama. You know, down in Alabama. Man, just a couple people who love me, honor me, support me. All right, man, I'm praying for you. I don't go around telling people who I am and what I do, because there are certain people who will prey on you. P-R-E-Y. And there are certain people who will pray for you. P-R-A-Y. But sometimes I can't tell the difference on who praying and who praying. Because what I discovered is the folk who praying don't even talk to me. But the folk who praying be all in my face. I had to take a laugh on that one. No, which is why I need discernment. Which is why I told you last week, yes, you're gifted, but you need wisdom so you can discern which crowd you're in. That's why you need to be prayerful right there. And that's why folks stop dealing with you, because you done messed around and was in the wrong crowd. Oh my God. Here they are mourning about what they lost and you excited. How you look hanging with mourners talking about what God finna do. They over there like, man, God ain't did nothing. I'm so ready for this year to be over with. And then here you come. I got 2 more months left. I can't stand my man. He getting on my nerves. Mine crazy too, but at least he came home yesterday and was cleaning up. So now they say stuff about you like, well, don't say none of them because you know they're going to be on something different. I am on something different. I've decided to be faithful, fruitful, and focused in spite of. My God! So 2 crowds is about to jump. It's about to jump. It's 2 crowds. Funeral and Jesus. Oh my God. It's something there. Put this in your notes. I see a lot in here. I see a lot in here. You see 2 crowds. One crying about what they lost. Another one celebrating what God has just done. Yeah. I see 2 sons. Because the scripture says she lost her only son. But don't know she finna bump into the begotten son. Michael, y'all don't want to have no church with me today. No, I see 2 types of death. I see a dead man being carried, and I see a dead man walking. You don't miss that. You missed that. You missed that. Hear me when I say this. It's a funeral procession coming out. They approached the village gate. The young man who had died was the widow's only son. Please put that in your notes. The widow's only son. All right, so how do they describe this woman? She's a what? What makes you a widow? So not only has she lost her man. Are y'all up there? I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna start preaching and then watching how y'all respond. Then if you won't respond right, I'm gonna have an usher come move you to overflow and bring a praiser in like a relief pitcher. Like, hey, give me another lady in the balcony who can shout a little bit. So she's lost her man and she lost her son. Put this in your notes. She is in an economical and emotional emergency. Without her husband, she can't pay bills. Women couldn't work like that in biblical days. Your husband was the provider. Once her husband died, the son would step up and provide. So here it is now, she'll know how she gonna pay her bills. Okay, I'm gonna say this again. She's a widow and her son died. What question should you be asking? What's the timeline? See, I want you to think like me. I want you to exegete, draw out, or examine everything that's placed before you. What's the timeline? Did her husband die in March, but then her son died in July? Or did her husband die 5 years ago? Now the son just died. Because I'm praying for y'all, because two types of people on your row. Some of y'all go through stuff here and there. But then some of us go to stuff back. I'm preaching whether you receive this or not. And I'm so jealous of y'all who get breaks in between your hell. I am so jealous of y'all who get to breathe in between your pain. Some of us don't get half times and timeouts. If it ain't one thing, I'm preaching to 3 of y'all already. And what's crazy is your circle be trying to convince you that it's something wrong with you. And now, every now and again, you sit back and ask yourself, God, is there something wrong with me? Why does it feel like every time I turn around, something jumping off in my life? It's because the devil knows if he take them out, all he did was take them out. If he take you out, he take y'all out. Y'all didn't hear what I just said right there. If he take your friend out, your friend go down, because your friend ain't holding nobody else up. But if you ever fall off, it's gonna be a whole lot of hungry, helpless people in their life. That's why every now and again you gotta say, Lord, grant me strength to deal with not just my pain, but what I'm carrying. She in an economical, emotional state she going through. Can you put this in your notes? Can you put this in your notes? Don't make a state out of something that should have been a stage. Michael, don't make a state out of something that should have been a stage. She's in an economic and emotional crisis. She broke and she lonely and she depressed right now. You missed it. She's broke, frustrated, lonely right now. She's going through a stage of loneliness, a stage of depression, a stage of poverty. But how you respond to what you don't see coming determines if it's going to be a stage in your life or a state in your life. A stage is temporary. A state becomes a state of mind, which means you forever live in that place, although God has brought you out of that. Yeah, she's in a stage, but she don't have anything. And here's the question I got to ask you, because the scripture says her only son has died. What's the next question you should ask, baby girl? How did he die? Y'all don't like me today. How did he die? That's important. Why is that important, Pastor Mike? Because I want to know that. How did he die? Can I ask you a question? And I pray 3 of y'all can receive this. Stop trying to resurrect stuff that you haven't conducted a forensic autopsy of. Y'all didn't hear what I just said. No, I'm not trying to bring nothing back without seeing the autopsy. Y'all don't like me today. No, I need an autopsy. When you're born, they give you a birth certificate. I'm a pastor, I had to do this a lot. When you die, they give your family a death certificate. We need to know what day and what state you came in, but we also need to know what day and what state you went out. That's critical. I need an autopsy. I need to see if there was foul play. I need to see if your heart can handle resurrection. Yeah, if you've been wounded, I need to know. So what's that right there? They were shot right here in the shoulder. That's a forensic. That caused the leak right here. Yada yada. Okay, so when I resurrect them, they may be traumatized. Because some of y'all trying to love people that you never performed the autopsy on, and you can't figure out why what you give them ain't enough. It's because you don't realize what you're doing resembles where they came from. I'm talking if you receive this. I need an autopsy. I need an autopsy. Why? I don't need a rider in my life. That's what I said in my 20s. Yeah, that was young people talk right there. I need a rider. That wasn't even God. That may have came from Eve, from DMX, and the Rough Riders. I need a ride or die. Who remember that? No, I'm 40 now. I don't want to ride or die. I don't want to ride or die. I'm not trying to die. That stuff you said when you was young and dumb. I need a ride or die. No, I need to examine and live. Did you catch what I just said? I need one person who can perform, this is good, an autopsy to see, okay, I see what this is. I see what this is. Why, Pastor Mike? This cold-blooded. Because sometimes the devil attacks a thing, not to attack a thing, but to attack the thing to attack your faith. I'm gonna say it again. Sometimes the devil attacks a thing, not to attack the thing, but to attack your faith. The devil is slick. He know he couldn't take your joy if he wanted to. He know he couldn't take your peace if he wanted to. He know he couldn't take your favor if he wanted to, but he's slick. He knows, since I can't take their favor, I'll take their friend. If I take their friend, they'll spend so much time crying over who walked out that they'll now put clothes up into a shell. And if they close into a shell, they'll build a wall. If they build a wall, they won't trust nobody. If they don't trust nobody, how can a man give them good measure, pressed down, shaken together, run it over, if they're not receptive to new people? So I didn't have to take your faith. I took your friend to take your faith. I need another church. I'm gonna say this. God bless y'all. I'm officially, if you're watching online, I'm putting in resumes. I can't do it no more in Birmingham, Alabama. I am preaching to these folks in Birmingham, Alabama. They've been sitting in traffic for 45 minutes, walked in here, a couple of them got on golf carts, came in the building, some of them sitting in overflow, and they got the audacity to be looking at me like I am not telling the truth. They looking at me like, preach, pastor. Had I been in your city, we would be having church right now, because you understand, whenever the devil wants to take something from you, he doesn't attack the thing he wants to take. He uses something else as a back door. Watch this, because the devil can't take it. He convinced you to lay it down. My God! He convinced you to lay it down. You don't believe me? Who got a big heart? All right, put your hand down. Who had a big heart, but don't use it as much? It's because when I do the autopsy, what the devil did was, they are giver. But here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let somebody they trust play them. And because somebody they trust played them, they now gonna walk around so bitter. So now everybody they meet gonna think they mean, because they never did an autopsy to see that they've been wounded by the people they was helping the most. Because whenever the devil wanna take this, he's not bold enough to walk in your house and say, give me your children. He'll send you a man and have you running behind that Negro more than you taking care of your babies. Whenever the devil want to take your money, he'll tell you go on vacation and ball out and do what you need to do, because the devil is slick. He is the author of confusion, which is why every now and again when you come to church, you need to shout even when ain't nothing going on, because you got to confuse the confusion. See, the devil don't know if I'm happy or sad. He don't know if I'm rich or poor. Sometimes I don't know the difference either, but I will bless the Lord. I need you to touch somebody real quick and tell them, I got your back, I got your back. Tell them, devil, you can't have their mind. Devil, you can't have their peace. Devil, you can't have their family. Devil, you can't have their finances. No, he's all right. I'm trying not to. He's slick. Right. He's slick. I felt that. He's slick. The devil's slick. Bro, he not finna run up on you. He know better than that. Crazy as you are, you know who to call when stuff pop off. He ain't slick. So what the devil do is, whenever the devil wants to handicap your future, he lets you meet somebody or feel something that makes you book a trip down memory lane. Memory lane is this way. So every time you take a trip, do y'all be hearing what be coming out y'all mouth? I'm about to take a trip down memory lane. Let me ask you a question. Who been on a trip this year? What did you take on the trip? Bags. Because you cannot travel without baggage. Watch this. And the baggage is always equivalent to where you're going. Who done ever been somewhere cold, getting ready to go to Jamaica or Mexico, and it's hot? So in your bags is your swimsuit, the little net thing you be wearing. If you're big like me, your swim shirt, because you just can't get in the pool and you got to have a shirt on too. You got all your stuff, you got your sandals, your flip-flops. If you wear that today, you're going to freeze. Because you pack your bags, not for where you are, but for where you're going. So if I take a trip down memory lane, I am packing my past hurt, my past pain, my past joy. Watch this. No, I'm not past that. I'm thinking about the good times. What's this? What's this? No, this is my hand and this is my hand. I can't take this part of my hand nowhere without this part of my hand. This part of my hand has my fingerprint. That's my identity. This part of my hand has my ethnicity. I'm black, which means to everything in life, there's a front side and a back side. You can't take a trip down memory lane and think about the good times we had and the bad ones don't come with you. Am I preaching to anybody at Rock City? Which is why you're gonna deal with me. You got to do an autopsy. Because hear me, don't just love me from my front side. Because this side will love you. This side will give you the shirt off my back. This side will intercede and pray for you like nobody else. But mess with me. This side right here. Think about it. When you like them, you say, hey. When you mad, this side. Are y'all seeing it now? This says hello. This side says you can go on about your business. And most of us are hurt because we got people who love this side till they met this side and don't realize if you ever love this side will give you anything. She going through, y'all. She going through. And she's dealing with a lot. I got to get y'all out of here. We ain't got much time. She's dealing with a lot. I can preach a little longer today. Is that you or is that everybody? Let's take a vote. Okay, let's go. Let's go then. Let go then. What? I got 10 extra minutes. We're going to stay here till 3:15. Let's go. Oh, not that long. She in a funeral procession. She is, put this thing in, she alone. She by herself. I like documentaries, bro. I like documentaries. In my phone, if you ever want to steal something from me, I like documentaries. If you ever want to steal something from me, in my notes, in my iPhone, it's the gospel of. Bro, I do that all the time. So if I watch LeBron's documentary, in my iPhone notes, it's the gospel of LeBron. When I watch Ye documentary on Netflix, the gospel of Jesus. So I take lessons from their life, and what I want to do is by 45, I want to drop a book, The Gospel of PMJ. Sort of like Luke. Here are the lessons I've learned from people. You got what I'm saying? So I was watching a documentary last night on Meg Thee Stallion. Okay? I'm watching her documentary, and in my heart, I press pause and just start calling her name. Yep. Now some of y'all gonna be like, Pastor, now you're going too far. No. I call the government name. Father, in Jesus' name, I lift up. Because think about this. Your daddy died. Your mama, who's your heart, she died. Before you can deal with mama dying, grandma died. Grandma died, now best friend in a scandal with who you thought you loved. So now through the whole documentary, the pastor and me is tripping because I don't see nobody. She in the room with performers, she paying them. She in the room with her dancers, she's paying them. She's in the room with her publicist. What do? I can feel this sometimes. When everybody who say they love you, you pay. Think about that. So not only is that happening, she can't even celebrate. She comes off one performance, goes to the internet, and Instagram killing her. She lied about this. She should be shot. She trifling this. She doing this. She doing that. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, oh my God, who got her back? Regardless of how you feel about her, Pastor Mike, they do documentaries to make you feel a certain type of way. That's how she felt. That's what's wrong with half of y'all. The people in your life screaming for help, but you so busy trying to tell them how they should feel. Y'all don't like me today. And grown as she is, it was one part of the documentary that messed me up because she's standing in the mirror, but the cartoon was the little girl. And in my heart, it made me think about the place in my life where all you see is this hero called PMJ. But Mike sitting there said, who got me? This woman in this text has to feel like that. My man gone. My son gone. What I'm gonna do? They crying at the funeral, but don't get excited about that. In biblical days, you got paid to mourn at funerals. There were certain people who made a living off going to funerals and acting a fool. Because everybody who show up didn't show up for the right reason. Everybody in attendance ain't in agreement. Everybody you count, you can't count on. That's critical now. And this girl is toe up. She's walked. She's probably a zombie. That's why you got to be careful how you treat people. You don't know who own your job, who in your house, and who on your row. Here but not here. Y'all don't like me. Yeah, here but not here. That's why you got to find who your man of God is. Yep. That's why you got to find who's the voice in your life. That's why the talented tent maker from Tarshish, Paul, titillates with tough theology when he says, my sheep know my voice. That's why you can't just be in every circle. You can't watch everything. Because what happens now is when life hits you, you will regurgitate what you've been eating. Yep. That's what happened to the children of Israel. That's what happened to the children of Israel. They started taking Moses for granted. They took Moses for granted. And what happens now is familiarity breeds contempt. They started treating Moses like a prophet instead of a deliverer. And a prophet and a deliverer ain't the same thing. A prophet is who you listen to on the front end. A deliverer is who you listen to on the back end. The prophet gives you the word so you don't get in it. But when you don't listen to the prophet, now you got to scream for a deliverer to get you out of it. And half of us have lost this whole year because we ignored the prophecy. Now we waiting on a deliverer. Jesus, see, but look at verse 13. Y'all tired of me. When the Lord, Michael, when the Lord, y'all don't even, when the Lord, okay, y'all didn't shout. I thought that was going, girl, hey, I thought they was going to tear that up right there. Look at verse 11. Look at verse 11. Verse 11. Throw it on the screen. Verse 11. Verse 11. Watch what it says right there. Soon afterwards, Jesus, go to verse 13 for me if you don't mind. When the Lord, go to verse 11. Soon afterwards, when Jesus, go to verse 13. When the Lord, I'm confused. Verse 11. Soon afterwards, Jesus. So when he's walking down the street, they call him Jesus. When he sees the funeral, they switch and call him Lord. Jesus is his pre-resurrection name. Lord is his post-resurrection name. Luke says, I was calling him Jesus when he was chilling. But when death showed up, I had to show death that authority just stepped into the room. Y'all miss what I just said. Okay. Who's ever rent before? Ever rented a house, rented an apartment? All right. I know y'all rich. We on 280 now. This the $1 million service. All the millionaires wave at me real quick. You don't even know when to wave by faith. You better wave. What's wrong with you? See, look at this. All the millionaires. God bless you. Multi-billionaires. God bless you. Hey, how you doing? Hey, God bless you. For us regular people, we had to rent. Okay? You had to rent. And there was a name you gave the person you were renting from. You called him landlord. In other words, the house I live in, because he owns it, he is the Lord of this land. I can't do nothing in this house till he gives me permission. I can't put a nail in the wall till he say I can do it. I can't paint a wall till he say I can do it. Well, Luke is trying to tell death that your life Lord just showed up. So death, I just need you to be ready, because I'm not sure if he gonna take this boy back or not, but you need to know at this name, Michael, when the Lord, Michael, saw her, he, look at me, overflowed, bro, with compassion. Bro, this is crazy. Bro, this is crazy. He overflowed, I'm finna get you out of here, with compassion. Not pity, compassion. He didn't have pity, he had compassion. For your notes, I want you to spell pity. Spell it for me. P-I-T-Y. That spells what? All right, I want you to spell it again. Watch this. P-I-T-Y. Pity is a pit. Look at the definition of pity. Pity is something reserved for something, someone in a more hopeless situation, and is generally not acceptably shared with the person. You have pity on somebody who's going through something. So what does that mean? If I spell pity, put it on the screen, P-I-T, that means I look into their pit, climb into it, feel sorry for them. When does it become pity? When I get in the pit, but don't ask why. Pity is when I climb in your situation, but don't have an intention to do nothing about it. Which means if I get in somebody's pit and don't have the nerve to ask why they in it, I now become pity full. But compassion, Michael, is not authentic if it's not active. Compassion is not authentic until it has action. Meaning, if you ain't gonna do nothing about it, why you asking about it? I'd rather you ignore me than ask me what's wrong, then just leave. If you ain't gonna get in it with me, stop being so inquisitive about why I'm in it. I'm preaching if you're a receiver or not. Compassion. Leslie, I sent you a definition of compassion. I'm not sure if you have it or not, but it messed me up because compassion is so cold-blooded. Why is compassion cold-blooded? I want to write this. One of my online members sent me this. I'm not sure if they put it in the notes or not. Oh my God, there it is, compassion. Watch what she sent me. She was watching this morning. She said, watch this, said, compassion or compassionate is a directive action from the heart. Can you put that in your notes? She was in church at 9 o'clock. Krishan, she's one of my poets. Every Sunday, she's going to text me what she got out of the message. Krishan said, watch this, compassion or compassionate is a directive action from the heart. This is what messed me up. See, I'm a pastor. We preach together. Look what she said right here. She said, Pastor, I saw how you broke down pitiful or pity and said pity was pit. She said, well, then compassion becomes compass. Look at this. Compassion becomes compass. A compass is used for those that are lost trying to find their way home. So to be compassionate is to be a guide in love that performs directive action from the heart to bring somebody out. Did you catch that? So I gotta ask you a question. Which one are you? Are you compassionate or pitiful? Oh, I see what you want to do. You want to post, they killing each other and they need to stop. But you don't really want to do nothing about it. Yeah, you pretty pity. All these black people in here right now with good jobs, creatives, all these millennials, all these athletes, and our school systems in Birmingham still need stuff? Yeah, we pitiful. We pitiful. All these members, you mean to tell me every week my sermon get over 100,000 views and we couldn't come together out of 100,000 people and help erase homelessness and feed people? You mean to tell me all these financial people I got in this room right now, we couldn't get together and put together some type of investment group and make sure by 2030 every person owned their own home? Oh, I see what it is. You can't help nobody till you get yours. We pretty pitiful. We pretty pitiful. The church has become pitiful when all we want to do is praise breaks, but don't want to show up when stuff break. So let me ask you a question. If we, I said we, ain't we? That's why I'm glad I get to do a free tour. I could have charged. I am hot enough. I could have charged tickets. Come on now. Come on. What song that is? I could have charged tickets. I'm so grateful I get to go for free. I get a chance to meet people and do effective ministry. Because the question I'm asking myself is, when I leave this world, is God gonna say, depart from me? Oh, pitiful boy. How you see a problem, but won't do nothing about it. Ooh, y'all don't like me today. No, I'm tired of seeing funerals. So can I ask you a question? If we're not gonna do nothing, that make us pitiful. If we're gonna be pitiful, that makes us mourners. So that means this really ain't a church service. It's just a weekly funeral. We come in here to watch stuff die with no intent of going out of here and waking stuff up. He called you the salt. I'm finna get my swag right now. He called you the salt. He called you royal. He called you peculiar. When you walk in the room, stuff's supposed to shift. I don't know what your family was about before you got here, but when you show up, they need to know, oh, it's real now. God told me to tell you, you are not average, you are not ordinary. Your hail ain't ordinary, and your anointing ain't ordinary. Your gift ain't ordinary, your favor ain't ordinary, and your next breakthrough ain't gonna be ordinary. Your next blessing ain't gonna be ordinary. I called you out from among them, and it's your season to shake some stuff up. Jesus walking, I'm gonna let you go. Jesus walking. All of a sudden, he sees the funeral. And verse 13 says he walks up to the woman. It's right there on your screen. Verse 13. He walks up to that woman. It said, don't cry. Bravis, this cold-blooded. I was watching my boys play Friday. They was playing Gardendale. And if Gardendale beat Spain Park, they would have went to the playoffs. And they got hot. The first half, first quarter, I was like, oh my God. That second half, the boys just came, just boom, blew them out. And Mace came on, he was like, Dad, man, they was crying, man. He was like, it just made you realize how quick this stuff go. And Brad, I'm just sitting there, because you're a senior, playoff time. I mean, every time you tote that ball now, it's like, no, ain't no going back. Ain't no going back. So imagine you done lost everything, bro. And I walk up to you, don't ask you your name, don't hug you. Because if somebody heard what you do, Jesus ain't got time to comfort you. I'm trying to give you back something. I gotta go. That's why people be telling me, I would love to hang out with Pastor Mike. He just seems so cool. No, the closer you get to me, the more irritating I become. I'm telling you, if you fall away from me, I'm all hugs and kisses. Oh, come here, it's okay, it's okay. Get close to me. Hey, cut all that out. Going on, I ain't got time for that. Here's my new phrase, which is why if you see people not around me, here's my new phrase. The minimum level of holiness. That's my new phrase for 2025. If you're gonna be close to me, you gotta have the minimum level of holiness to deal with your own stuff. You can't be close to me and I gotta spend all my time with you. Go find another friend. I got too many members and I ain't got time to make sure you good. You're preaching. Get yourself together. You singing, get yourself together. You on staff, go in the prayer room and pray. I ain't got time to pray with you. I'm praying with people who don't know Jesus. I ain't got time to be praying with the ones who get paid to know Jesus. No, you gotta have the minimum level of holiness. Now I'm not saying I'm not, because every now and then, come here, let's pray. Come, I got you, come. But it can't be recurrent. Jesus walks up to the sister and says, I ain't got time to comfort you. Why? I only comfort people who lost something. You're getting ready to get it. You finna get it back. He don't hug her. Say, come here. He looks at her and says, watch this. Don't cry. Jesus or not, I'm so grateful. I told y'all I'm 40. I see stuff. You get another level of attitude at 40. All my 30-somethings, where y'all at? Wait till you hit 40. In your 30s, you do stuff like this. They messed up my order, send it back. In your 40s, I eat it, just get it, I ain't got all day. Can I get a what from 3 people? I gotta get home to these kids, I ain't got time to wait on them, just give it here. I scrape it off. Something about 40, you just change. Hear me. At 40, I see something in the scripture nobody ever said. I'm so grateful she ain't snapped. She done lost her husband and her son, and she don't know how she gonna pay her bills. And then you roll up on me telling me, don't cry. What if she would have looked and said, who you think you're talking to? Her attitude would have blocked her blessing. Listen to me, all over the room. Listen to me. I know you're going through some stuff. That don't give you permission to act a fool. Pastor Mike, but you don't know what I've been through. You're right. But you can only push people so many times till they stop showing up. You feel me? Young bro, he walks up. Let me show you what he does. You can play softly. He touches the coffin. He don't touch the boy. He don't touch mama. He don't touch the boy. He touched the casket. He touches what's holding him. Jackson, that's cold. Hear me. Why didn't he touch it? Look at Numbers. I want you to read this. Go to the book of Numbers. I want you to see Numbers chapter 19:11. 19:11. This is crazy. All those who touch dead human body will be ceremonially unclean for 7 days. So according to the Old Testament, had he touched that dead body, for 7 days he couldn't touch nobody else. I'm finna mess you up. And Jesus will never hinder what he can do for other people just to do something for me. He touched the coffin. Pallbearer stopped. I'm finna mess you up. The moment he touched the coffin, everybody got a promotion. I don't think you heard what I just said. The moment he touched the coffin, everybody got a promotion. The dead man got promoted to life. The pallbearers got promoted to armor bearers. The widow, the mother, got promoted back to being a mother. The crowd got promoted from mourning to astonishment. The only person who lost something was the person who owned the casket. He touches the coffin, and look what he says. Young man, he said, I tell you, get up. And that's why we could go to church right there, but I want you to read verse 15. Verse 15, the dead boy. Go back to 14, you missed it. Young man, get up. Verse 15, the dead boy. You missed it. Go back to 14. Young man, verse 15, dead boy. Now, I'm not the smartest of men. I'm finna mess you up right here. I want to know what's the age of this boy. Is he 16, 26, or 6? Because 3 things happened that messed me up. He called him a young man, which means he's probably 18 to 25. But then the next verse calls him a dead boy, meaning he's probably 14 to 7. But then on the back end, it says he gave him back to his mother. I don't know the answer to none of that, but it's something in the scripture that blessed me. It says the dead boy sat up. The dead boy sat up and began to talk. All right, we're going home on this. I need you to think like your pastor. If the dead boy sat up and began to talk, what question should you ask next? What did he say? Did he get up and say, I saw a light, and when I saw the light, I walked into the light, but then it just brought me? Did he get up and say, Mama, did you ever finish cooking? Because he died while she was cooking. So he woke back up thinking he was still in, because you know how you go to sleep at 9 and you wake up at 6 and you thought you were asleep for 5 minutes, but you really sleep for like 7 hours, but it just went by. I don't know what he said. My question is, what you gonna say when God bring you back? What you gonna say? What you gonna say? When you get this check that changed your life? I told y'all don't doubt me. I told y'all I was gonna be back. I told you, no, don't come over here now. That's what you gonna say? We spend so much time talking about our haters. I'm gonna spend my time talking about my helper. You move mountains. You cause walls to fall with your power. Perform miracles. There is nothing that's impossible. And we're standing here only because, Father, I pray for right conversation. I'm guilty of it myself, of saying the wrong stuff. God, I was that broken little kid who just always wanted acceptance. I've never been accepted, ever. Just always on the outside. Black sheep for me was more than just a phrase. This is my life. As a kid, I wanted to be in the cool clique. I wanted to sit at the table. I wanted to always be a part. Just always had to work my way around. So God, when I finally started winning, kind of talk too much in certain seasons, too braggadocious, and God, it wasn't because I was arrogant. I was just finally just ready to show people I was worth something. But in that, God, you revealed to me that my brokenness led to a broken conversation that exposed to the devil how broke I was, and all he did was further fracture what was broken. This time, I'm gonna tell the world, God. I'm gonna tell the world, God, I pray right now that as I examine myself, they'll examine themselves. And as a collective, we will see the places where we fell short. And nobody in this room, in overflow or online, has all the answers. But God, I pray right now, like that sweet hymnist from Israel, David, create in me a clean heart and renew a steadfast spirit within me. God, if this is as good as it gets, I thank you. God, if we come back next week and there's only 6 people sitting here, God, we thank you. God, I pray that our gratefulness is never determined by how much money we got in the bank or what we drive or what type of labels we got on our clothes. I share the sentiments of my grandmother. If you don't do nothing else, you've already done enough. So God, I stretch my hands and touch and agree with every person under the sound of my voice. And like that centurion, I say to you today, Lord, do it for them. Let them know that I feel their pain, but I want you to do in them what no man can do. It's in Jesus' name. Jump on your feet. Nobody move, nobody get hurt. Jump up before you leave. You may not know Jesus. This is important to me. You may not know Jesus. Let me be very real with you. Falling in love with God is the best thing I've ever done. And today you may need to get saved. And I want to say this to you. Don't let the world or the devil convince you you got to get right before you get saved. That's not it. I done did enough for everybody in this room. I mean that. Tried to commit suicide one time because I was just so depressed. Closed my eyes on the freeway and just drove. Ended up totaling my daddy's car. Didn't have a scratch on me and towed his car up. One night I was so overwhelmed and depressed, I just started taking all the pills I could find. And the Holy Spirit just woke my mama and that lady in that corner up right there. Woke them up from across town and said, y'all better go check on that boy. She called my mama, y'all better go check on that boy. Something ain't right. My mama came to my apartment complex, parents found me. I was just done with life. I was young in my 20s, just done with life. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't even kill myself right. That lady over there in that corner grabbed me and balled my shirt up like this. I was in my 20s. She looked at me and she said, fool. That's what she said, fool, God got something for you. She said, God showed me you. She said, I was at an arena and people was pulling on the door trying to get in. She said, and I pulled the curtain, I looked behind the curtain and you were standing there. I said, what is that boy doing on that stage? She said, the curtain opened and thousands of young people rushed the stage. She said, you said Jesus and the place went berserk. She told me that when nobody knew my name. She says, I know you want to stop. I had just had a child out of wedlock. I may have been like 22, 23. And in church world, you done. Church so judgmental. They treating you like you ain't doing what they kids doing. Never was cool, never was popular, never was cute. Joined the fraternity, kind of got beside myself, grew up, you know how that is. Ended up having a child. And then I stood before the church, told the whole church, hey, y'all, I messed up. I'm in my 20s and had enough sense to tell the church this. Y'all got 6 months to talk about me because this ain't going to be my trump card. Hear me? She grabbed me in the corner and said, God ain't through with you. I went home. I was ready to, all I ever wanted to do was be a blessing to people. So I'm telling you my business. Tried to commit suicide. Had a child out of wedlock. Hear me? I've lost a lot. Lost a lot. Been to jail for like 6 seconds. I was in college. I was getting bullied in college. My whole life just been I'm getting bullied. I'm on the scout team in football and I'm going off. Every time I get 20 yards, they have to run. And I went off one day. We got to the lunchroom and they called themselves and teach me a lesson. Didn't know I was from Inslee. I picked up a glass, hit one of them, picked up a tray, hit the other one. But the glass broke and it cut them, so that's assault. And I had just turned 18. I get to Livingston in West Alabama. They put me they fingerprint me. I take the picture. They walk me down the cell and they got the jail bars like Mayberry. They closed the door. They said, bring them back. I said, let me out. I was a gangster for like 6 seconds. My best friend at the time in college, his name was Brandon Mason. I ended up naming my son after him. His last name was Mason. I named my baby boy Mason. Came and got me out of jail. He said, hey man, your bail was $210. We had to scrape it together. We was in college. I was like, get me out of here. So look at that. Child out of wedlock, tried to commit suicide, served hard time for 6 seconds. And God didn't throw me away. Pastor Mike, why would you tell us that? Because church has turned into the witness protection program. And we got these young people thinking if you ain't perfect, God ain't gonna use you. It don't work like that. Do it. Remember when you was playing ball and you hurt your knee and you was like, oh, no, what's going on? Don't work like that. God bless you. You know what I'm saying? You stay faithful, Julian. If you trust God, baby girl, you can be beautiful and saved. You can be swaggy and saved. If somebody in this room watching me or somebody watching online, I want to tell you, man, if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be where I am right now. If it wasn't for aunties like my auntie Judy, who she has no idea, at the perfect time, once a month, she sent us an Instagram with a word on it. She don't know I be sitting out on the deck certain days like, God help me. See, that's how God works. And if we ain't careful, we're gonna make God so spooky, bro. When all of us, the Bible says, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. So Pastor Mike, why would you put your business out there? Because it's real. Because somebody listening to me right now, in your heart, you saying, nah, God got a plan for me. He got a plan. So I'm not gonna put you on the spot. I'm not gonna ask you to walk down here. That's between you and God. I'm not gonna make you walk down in front of other broken people and show other broken people that you wanna be unbroke right now. That ain't what this is. This is between you and God. Right where you are, all you gotta do is just say, Lord, come into my heart. Make me over again. I confess with my mouth. I believe with my heart that you got out that grave with all power in your hand. And right now, I am saved. Y'all better make some noise, man. All right, y'all. I love you so much.